It's really an emotional moment for me because I have so much of experiences and memories with me with the last 6 months. I thought the 6 months, it is too long, but it has gone like this. I need to believe it's gone like this. I would encourage everyone to take up the role, at least any ex-com role, definitely will change you in a positive thing. Today, I have these things with me. Any guesses why I have this thing with me? On one hand, I have donut. On the other hand, I have chocolate, dairy milk chocolate. Any guess? To give it to us. To celebrate myself. Jokes aside, I wanted to give this donut to a special person who has helped me a lot. When I stuck in traffic, just a missed call, he set up the room. Any guesses? The right guess will get this chocolate.
Tejas.
No.
Abhinav.
Who said Abhinav?
Me.
Yeah. You will get it. Please come. Please come. Abhinav, you also can come, please.
Take a photo.
Thank you, Abhinav, for your wonderful support. Thanks.
Thank you. You should give hand. You can take a picture.
Kindly switch off your mobile phones to silent mode. If you wish to step out or step in, do so when you hear an applause. Kindly refrain speaking on the sensitive topics such as sex, politics, and religion. For the last time, I'm going to introduce the president. Week after week, I'm calling with her, I'm getting her stories. Definitely, I can say I know half of what her husband knows about her. It's been a wonderful experience working with her. She was in an organization as an operation manager. Whenever there is an employee satisfaction survey comes, always she wins the employee satisfaction survey award. There she wins the award. Here she wins our hearts. Let us welcome one more time with a big round of applause, Madam President, Toastmaster Amrit Kaur.
Thank you, Toastmaster India, for filling my heart with joy and surprise week after week. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing today?
First class.
Great. I call to order meeting number 1533. Right. May I invite our Secretary Toastmaster Abhinava to read out the minutes of meeting? Previous meeting.
Good evening, my friends. It's very anticlimactic for me to actually read it out for once instead of memorizing it because I was very focused on to the last meeting itself. So, for the minutes of the meeting, the last week's meeting theme was the guiding hand. The word of the day was beacon, a source of guidance or inspiration. The awardees for the last week's meeting are as follows, with the Best Speaker Award going to Toastmaster Chandrasekhar Naik, the Best Evaluator Award going to Toastmaster Priyanka Ranade, the Best Role Taker Award going to both Toastmaster Ganesh Pai and Toastmaster Nitin B, the Best Auxiliary Role Taker Award going to Toastmaster Pradeep Padmanabhan, the Best Table Topic Speaker Award went to Distinguished Toastmaster Shashank Bhatt, and with the total number of members present being 31 and the total number of guests being 16, it was an honor to be the secretary and I hand it back to a gracious president.
Thank you. Members, are there any changes? Past the minutes of meeting. Another very interesting fact about our Toastmaster Abhinava, the secretary. In addition to doing his role, he was present for all 26 meetings. I have a lesser attendance than him, so can we have a big round of applause for him? power-packed meeting, so we will jump right into it. Once upon a time, there were two very good friends, Ravi and Sunil. They loved traveling. One day they were traveling to a distant village and were passing through a dense forest. They were tired, hungry, and right at that time, Ravi saw a signboard. He yelled, "Hey, there's a signboard. Let's read it out." Sunil, on the other hand, well, signboards are good for nothing. Let's not waste our time and let's keep walking. Ravi didn't listen to her. He anyway went to the signboard, cleared it up from all the creepers and the mud, and he read it out loudly. There is a shortcut behind the big banyan tree. If you follow it, you will see a stream of fresh water and trees filled with fruits. Ravi, excited, said, "Let's take the shortcut." Whereas Sunil said, "No, I'm not going to do that. This sounds to be like a trick. I am going to follow the trail." They both parted ways. Ravi went and took the shortcut. He soon found the stream, trees with fruits, and he reached the village before sunset. Whereas Sunil reached the same village the next day morning, hungry and even more tired. The villagers asked Sunil, "Didn't you read the notice board, the signboard? We have clearly mentioned to take the shortcut." Sunil said, "I felt it was too good to be true." Friends, it does happen many a times in life that we see signboards, but we overlook them. For example, there is a signboard that we see usually standing here, which somehow is missing today. But that signboard clearly says that a Toastmaster club provides a supportive and protective environment to its member to become better communicators and leaders. When I came to Toastmasters for the first time, I read that signboard. And I joined the club. It has been a great learning experience. And I also would like to thank you everyone for trusting in me and giving me the role, because it has changed me in many, many ways. For the last time today, I will take the pleasure to invite and introduce the Toastmaster of the day. He joined the club in July 2012, and he has served the club at many roles. Once as a Vice President Membership, as Vice President Education, and twice as the Treasurer. And he has also served as a President to Chaturati Toastmasters Club in Mumbai. Professionally, he is a microbiologist and has experience of over 30 years in the medical devices industry. He has a lot of passion and love for travel and his work. He's extremely thankful to his work because it has helped him to travel to over 100 cities across our country. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Toastmaster of the day, who loves keeping people safe and secure. Toastmaster Sitanshu Ratat Shetty. Let's keep the applause going on.
this set of words that we have in front of us has very nice connotations. Just look at the words. It says, just go for it. And you know something? All you have to do is emphasize on one word out of it and the entire meaning changes. So let's look at the first one. Just go for it. When I emphasize on just go for it. It makes me impulsive. I have to go for it at any cost and I have to jump for it. Now let me try to put the emphasis on another set of words. Okay, let me put the emphasis on for it. Just go for it. Just go for it. Means I have to go for it only, nothing else. So it gives me the impression of being driven towards a particular thing. There may be more connotations, but let me look at it this way. Just go for it. Just go for it. And that makes it intentional. So the entire idea is that when you go for something, you are intentional. In today's world, there is this beautiful term that has come up. And when I write the word, I am going to see at least 3 smiles to 5 smiles in this video. Okay. Maybe the spelling is wrong. How many of you like this word? Selfie. You like the word?
Yes.
So let us look at this word, selfie. I need another pen for this. So, S, selfie. So I said, just go for it. So when you are intentional, what you need to do is, first of all, be self-aware. Mentally, you need to be prepared that I am going for this. And then, what does E stand for in this?
Emphasis.
Who said empathy?
Emphasis.
Emphasis, okay. It looks like my mind is conditioned to look at empathy. So empathy means who am I going to impact? So that is important. In selfie, E stands for empathy, and then let's look at L. What does L stand for?
Love.
Love. Good. In Toastmasters, it can stand for something else. What does L stand for? Leadership. So leadership means what is the goal? What is it that I am emphasizing on? And then F stands for
Flowers.
flower. Flower, bias, whatever you want to say.
Focus.
Absolutely right. You need a jump in that good practice. Chiran said focus, right? Absolutely. So focus means you just keep your eyes on a selected view and you blur the other things. So focus. L brings in intentionality. That is what we are talking about. Just go for it. Just go for it with intentionality. And I stands for, what does I stand for?
Impact.
What do you believe? You can't listen. Okay, so this is impact means ultimately you want to get the results of it, right? So just go for it so that you get the results with self-awareness, with empathy, with leadership, goal setting, with focus, so that you shut out all the unnecessary things and you are able to achieve the results. I am reminded of a story, a very quick one. So when I was with this organization a few years back, they had this habit of taking a selfie and sending it to the manager, the salespeople. Why do you think they did that? Because the salespeople are very handsome or beautiful or whatever.
To prove that they have been that took place.
So the intention was compliance, obviously, right? But when the salesperson took the photograph, how did the salesperson feel? The salesperson, in fact, when I was working with the salesperson, even I had to be in the photograph. So naturally, I used to feel that, am I ready for the day? Am I readying for the day? Am I mentally set for whatever I am going to do today? So that selfie really shifted the focus on myself before I set the focus on the outside world. So this is the aspect of intentionality that I wanted to bring in before getting into our meeting today. A show of hands, how many guests do we have today? Once again, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For all our guests, a typical Toastmasters meeting, and first of all, when was Toastmasters founded? For those who are attending for the first time, can you take a guess, please? When was Toastmasters founded?
1950?
50.
1950. Yeah. Any other guesses? Okay, it was 1950 is far behind, right? Was it so far back? Any more guesses? Toastmasters was founded more than 100 years back in 1924 by a visionary by the name of Ralph C. Smedley in Santa Ana, California, with the intention of just a small intention of building awareness of and inculcating public speaking skills in the YMCA youth who were available at that time, and that is where it all began. And from the time that I know of Toastmasters and have been a part of it, as well as a long time prior to that also, the meeting format in Toastmasters remains the same. The meeting format in Toastmasters remains the same, and it comprises of 3 sections. So the first section of the typical Toastmasters meeting is where you have the prepared speeches. So you have the Toastmasters who prepared the project based on certain project guidelines, and they would be delivering their speeches based on those project guidelines. The second session of a typical Toastmasters meeting is where we have the table topic master who would lead a session of impromptu speaking off the cuff. This is called as a table topic session. And the last session is where it's actually called as the icing on the cake in a Toastmasters meeting. Why do they call it the icing on the cake? Because that is where you get the most important element of feedback. This feedback session is led by a general evaluator who's a very seasoned Toastmaster and has been a part of the club for a sizable period of time. Today's general evaluator, I will introduce her later, but I would request her to rise, and I would like to mention that today's general evaluator is Toastmaster Chaitra Chandapillai. Let's have a big round of applause. Our general evaluator will be assisted by a team of role takers whom we call as the tag team, where T stands for timer, A stands for R counter, and G stands for grammarian. In order to explain their respective roles, I would call them up one by one on the stage. as the timer for today, we have Toastmaster Ravi. A big round of applause to Toastmaster Ravi.
Good evening, everyone. So the talk and I will be closely working together today. My role is to make sure everyone gets a fair opportunity to speak within the allotted time. So for the prepared speeches, I will show green at 5 minutes and yellow at 6 minutes and red at 7 minutes. For the table topics, I will show yellow at 1 minute and red at 1 minute 30 seconds. So I will present the report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
As the second member of the tag team, we have the R counter, and the R counter for today is Toastmaster Vineet. A big round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. So as R counter, I will be keeping note of the crutch words and filler words. When I say filler words, words like when, like, and crutch words like and such sounds. At the end, I will be sharing my report with you all. On the other note, since this last meeting for the current committee, I would like to thank our current VP Education, Srinivas. He has been very helpful with me. Someone who comes very seldomly to the meeting. He has been pushing me, we need to come, take up the role, show up at the meeting. And he has been someone who was in call at late night 11 p.m. during my speech. So as a gesture of gratitude, some rather I will hand out of patience for you. So patience for patience. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vineet. And as the grammarian for today, we have distinguished Toastmaster Vijayanand.
Two jobs finally, one the good use of English and one perhaps the not so good use of English. I am focusing on the second part. You all come here to learn. Second part of my role is word of the day, which is Nexus. The company is taking this theme very seriously because best of my limited knowledge, the meaning is complicated set of connections. But what I see in practice is a central connection point. They've just gone for it. It's all right. So if you can use the word of the day, use it. Don't force fit it. Just how you can use it seamlessly. Back to the keyboard.
So the tag team is going to form a very close nexus with the general evaluator in order to ensure that we don't use what I just used just now, and we do use the word of the day, which is
Nexus.
Nexus. Yeah. So with this, we move on to the first session, and the first session for today. In the first session for today, the first speaker is a podcaster. He's already hosted more than 100 podcasts. He is an avid member and an avid performer, I would say. Please put your hands together for our first speaker as we ready to hear the first prepared speech, Toastmaster Puneet Surana.
On a rainy Monday morning, 24th of June 1996, at Republic Hospital, very close by, I was born. After a very tough pregnancy, I was this really small, pretty, dark-skinned, under 9 kg kid, who my mom would say he would sink in the hollow of my lap. You know, he was so small. I grew up in Bangalore throughout my life, and in my infancy, I had a very tough time. My parents would take me from pillar to post to make sure I don't die on them. I had a lot of health complications until we found this one doctor that was able to break that chain of illnesses, and then my immunity started building up. In school, I went to common school. Back then it was known for teachers and pretty girls. Now there's common school in every pin code. In common school, in my early years, I was really given the freedom to explore and take out all my hyper energy, whether it was cricket, dance, music, public speaking. I was into everything. I would just go for it as a kid. In my high school, I had a very big transition. I lost my mom and I sort of doubled down on just being this kid that excels in studies. But before that, I did fail my 8th standard with all the mischief that I had. In my 10th, I topped my class. And for the shock of everyone, including my teachers, my parents, I scored 93%. And that sort of paved the way for a smoother college. My teenage years was all about standing out. Whether it was building a website or running a cyber cafe when the owners were too busy to handle this business, or it was about just going out and creating mischiefs. It was all about standing out. In my college days, I stood out by trying to build a business as early as my first and second PUC. I failed 9 times, but I still ended up making enough money to pay for my college fines, about 50,000 rupees back in the day. I bumped a lot of classes, and that racked up my fines. By the time I was 18, I already had a national award from Hrithik Roshan, and things looked great ahead. In my 20s, I decided to make a shift. My 20s is going to be about exploring. And I explored thoroughly, whether it was business ideas, whether it was people. I would meet hundreds of people a week. Or it was about different initiatives and ideas. To give you an example, my college required me to do 1 internships for 6 months. I did 6 internships of 1 month each and 1 mandatory 6-month internship. So my entire 20s was about exploring. And one such key pillar in that was Toastmasters. When I was 18, I had been given a free seat at CMS college, and the owner said, and when I said no, the owner said, you know what, you don't need to join CMS, you can join Christ, but make sure you go to Toastmasters. And when I was 18, I entered this hall, meeting number 979. If you open that diary, that guest diary, first sheet, you will have my number, my name right there. I became a man from a boy in this club. My entire 20s, Toastmasters was a key aspect of my explorations, including 5 years of building a clothing company and 5 years of building a media company. Now that I am at the end of my 20s with this speech, I've been able to reflect all the mistakes, the patterns I've grown through and gone through. My next 30 years is all about doubling down. Whether it's in Toastmasters, I envision a DTM ship in the next 3 to 5 years, or in personal life, I look forward for building a family, for finally settling down. And work front, I look forward to delivering 1,000 episodes on Galata. I have had a full life in the last 30 years, despite the numerous ups and downs. And in the next 30 years, I really look forward to enjoying and having the full life. And just like the theme of the day, I have always just gone for it. And I encourage you all to just go for it. With that, I hand it back to the Toastmaster.
A quick note for the benefit of the guests. The reason we all stood up when Toastmaster Puneet gave this speech was because he has completed his path, and this was his path-breaking speech. So if you wish, you can give him a quick round of applause once again. Another note, as a ritual, we always announce the project guidelines before the speech. So in retrospect, I'd request Toastmaster Anirudh to to quickly read the project guidelines
Sure.
so that we move to the next one.
Sure, thank you, T.M. Modi. Toastmaster Puneet Surana has delivered his icebreaker from the path Motivational Strategies, Level 1, Path 1. The objective of the speech is, as a member, to introduce himself to the club and to learn the basics of public speaking. And the speech length is somewhere around 4 to 6 minutes. So over to Toastmasters.
So the third note, this was an icebreaker speech, it wasn't the path breaking speech. He's already completed a path and this is the first speech of the next path. With this, we move to the second speaker, and the evaluator for the second speech is Toastmaster Shivangi, requesting her to read the guidelines.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The speaker is attempting level 1 project 3 from the pathway presentation mastery, and the purpose of his project is to practice vocal variety and body language. All the best to the speaker. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Our third speaker is, our second speaker is a professor and obviously an avid communicator. We look forward to hearing from him on the topic for the day, and all the best to the speaker. Toastmaster for good.
Imagine an 11-year-old boy, a wedding in an Indian household, and the exam season. Everybody dressed up, about to go for the wedding, and this boy is pleading her mother, "Amma, please, I want to come for the wedding. Please, I will promise I will come back and start studying." "No, you're not coming for the wedding. I know what kind of marks you get. Stay back and study." And this boy is pleading desperately, "Amma, please, one last time, I'm requesting you. I would want to come for the wedding. I promise I will come back and start studying. Even sister is coming for the wedding. She has her exams too. You're being partial. Please convince dad. And you are the only superpower who can convince him." And just then, my dad walks into the room, doesn't utter a single word. The signature move, it just clears his throat. And then I decide to stay back and study for the exam. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Exam season, the most difficult time in any Indian household. My family got ready, my parents and my sister, and decided to leave for the wedding. Just when they were going out, my father instructed me, "Hey, do not open the door for the strangers, lock the door from inside and study." Well, I had to listen to him. I stayed back and I bolted the door from inside, planning to study. Right? Remember the bolting of the door, that's the start of the story. Now, as a sixth grader, it was the very first time that they had left me at home all by myself. So, freedom, right? I had to study, but I decided before I start studying, why don't I prepare the study table a little bit? So I ended up decorating the study table. And then, before starting to study, I thought, why not make a cup of Maggie? It only takes 2 minutes anyways. So I ended up making some Maggie for myself, decorated the study table, and I started to sit down and study. So I read one line, maybe two, then I realized, hey, I have the freedom, I don't need to be sitting at the study table. So I went back to the couch, put a pillow to my head, and opened the book. One word, maybe second line, and I could see the words dance around me, the letters swimming around. Between a noun and a verb, I was gone. Book open, head down, fast asleep, beautifully and unconsciously. Now on the other side, my parents returned back from the wedding late at the night, around midnight. My dad knocking on the door, knock, knock, nothing happens. Knock, 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 still nothing happens. He yells out my name, "Hey, open the door," still nothing happens because behind the door, I was sleeping like a king. Now, hearing all the commotion, the neighbors joined in as well. And there were aunties at the door, the uncles trying to yell, giving different set of instructions. "Why don't you break the door open? Oh, let's call the carpenter. Where will we find the carpenter at this time of the night?" Like every neighborhood, my neighborhood also had an uncle who thought himself as a superhero. And he decided he's going to climb up the window grill and through the tiny hole throw stones into where this boy was sleeping like a king with no loans, no responsibilities. So his uncle decided to tie his lungi up and climbed up like a Spider-Man and started throwing stones through the window. He tried once. Instead of going through the tiny gap, the stone hit the wall and fell down. He tried twice, thrice, again the same result. So after hours of trying, they decided to call it a day. And my sister, who was all dressed up for the wedding, decided to sit down at the door and battle it out with the mosquitoes. Now, around 4 a.m., unaware of what is happening behind the door, I was fast asleep. Around 4 a.m., nature's call, I wake up with half eyes closed, stumbling towards the bathroom, and I switch on the light. And that's when they realize, okay, maybe he's awake. And they start banging on the door again. And I was thinking to myself, half asleep, who is that banging at this time of the hour? And I look at the time, I realize, oh no, it's already 4 in the morning and I've kept them out the whole night. I run to the door and unbolt it, and there was my father standing and staring at me. The look, we do not have to tell, I could see it in his eyes. My sister was furious. She was 100% convinced that I had locked her out on purpose because even she had her exams the next day. The neighbors were furious, everybody was furious. My dad is about to grab me and give me one whack. And that's when my mother came to my rescue. She put her arms around me and said, hey, don't be harsh with this little boy. Maybe he was studying, preparing for his exam and he fell asleep. Mother's love was the only thing standing between me and the whack from my father that day. When I look at it now, I'm around 45 years old now. And I would give anything to sleep like a child again. Back then, an entire colony banging at the door could not wake me up. But now, a simple email notification from my boss keeps me up the whole night. My mother sneezes in the next room next to me, and I'm up planning the whole night. So, if you have a child in your life who is sleeping deeply like a king, do not disturb him. Let him sleep, because life eventually is going to catch up. Give him the deadlines and responsibilities, and he would never ever be able to sleep like a king again. Over to you.
I wish I had a professor who made me laugh like this. Now let's move to the next speech, and before I call on the next speaker, I request the evaluator, Toastmaster Jacob, to please read the guidelines.
Good evening, everyone. Toastmaster Surya Prakash would deliver his Level 1 Project 5 speech in part Dynamic Leadership. The purpose of the speech is for the member to apply feedback which he received during the first speech, and the purpose of the speech is for the member to demonstrate his ability to effectively deliver a speech incorporating the comments of the first speech.
Thanks, Toastmaster Jacob. The next speaker is an accomplished hardware engineer. So he is somebody who puts a lot of emphasis on precision and problem solving. We've seen him being quite active in the club. He's participated in debates, and one of our budding, I would say, budding heroes, if I can say that, of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Put your hands together for Toastmaster Surya Prakash.
Picture this. You are watching a video of your favorite singer performing live. They close their eyes, they lean towards the microphone, and effortlessly hit the beautiful, powerful high note. You get goosebumps. You are genuinely inspired and you make a vow. You are saying, I'm going to sing like that. You don't overthink it. The next day, you are alone in your room. Put on your headphones, the noise cancelling headphones. You put on the track and you feel the music in your soul. You take a massive breath and go for that note. At least that's what I did. And the sound came out of my mouth. Sounded like a donkey having a panic attack. I stopped singing forever. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
So that's what we do with everything, right? So we are absolutely terrified of being beginners. And behind that terror is the voice that whispers, are you good enough? Do anything? Who am I to stand on the stage? What if they figure out I don't have any idea what I'm doing? So we look at the gap between the current skill and the final goal and we freeze. Tonight, let me tell you a secret that any great leader, creator, speaker eventually learns that readiness is a lie. You don't wait to become an expert to create anything. The universe works in reverse. You do your work and your work makes you an expert. Because the ultimate truth of human potential is this: what you make makes you. A few months back, I went on a trip to Pondicherry. I visited a place called Auroville. How many of you have been there? Quite good number. So there I attended a workshop, a pottery workshop. I sat right down at the wheel. I stared at the wet, huge lump of clay. Then the familiar voice of self-doubt whispered, are you an artist? Do you have any idea what you're doing? I forced myself, to spin the wheel, try to shape up the clay. I don't have any idea. I don't have a particular perfect technique. I pushed the clay too hard and the clay immediately collapsed into a messy mud pile. But I didn't stop. So I embraced being a beginner. So I forced myself again to shape that clay, and that pot was coming up. That time I realized the clay was secretly shaping me. It was demanding my absolute focus. It was building my patience. It was teaching me to fail, center myself, and then try again. To just go for it. So, don't wait to be an expert to do the work. You do the work and the work will make you an expert. Because the ultimate truth of human potential is what you make makes you. Let's look at here in this room, right? So we try to find that courage to write our next speech. We think that we need to be flawless when we get onto the stage, right? No. You start with your messy draft. You come onto the stage with your hands shivering. You forget half of your words. You push through that silence. You give your speech anyways. Because you don't become an expert speaker to give the speeches. You give the speeches and the speeches will make you an expert. Again, I want to challenge you tonight. Stop listening to the voice of self-doubt. Am I good enough? Stop waiting for the train called ready. Don't let the fear of being a beginner stop you from taking action. Book that next speech slot, even if you have no idea what you're going to talk about. And I want to leave this room with a phrase lingering in your mind. The ultimate truth of human potential is this: what you make, what you.
Let the applause continue. Thank you for that rousing speech, Toastmaster Surya Prakash. And we now head into a break, and let's all be back at 5 minutes, within 5 minutes sharp. Before we head for the break, kindly vote for the best speaker. The password is 2026. Request everybody to take a seat, please, quickly. So I made a promise before we headed into the break. What was that? It's going to be a fun session. And to take you through this fun session, which is table topics, we have somebody who makes stories. But what does he make stories out of? Any idea? No idea? Data. We all look at data as number crunching and something which involves a lot of mental work, but this person makes stories out of data. So put your hands together for Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan.
You're all familiar with Nobel Prizes, isn't it? I see a lot of Nobel laureates here, but a slightly different form of Nobel Prize. It's called Ig Nobel. Okay. On the ignominious Nobel Prizes. This is given away for real scientific research. I'm not making it up, it's really there. Ig Nobel Prizes are there. It's such a way that when you tell that somebody has done a research on this, people first laugh and then try to think about it. So there is an event that happens every year where you give away these awards and the people who get the award come and give their acceptance speech. Alright? On the acceptance speech is just 1 minute. So the timer will raise the red flag. That's it. Okay? You will not be pressurized to move away. But in other case, what happens in the real Ig Nobel thing is there's a small girl who's 8 years old. It's always 8 years old. Okay? It's always 8 years old. And she says, please go, I am bored. Please go, I am bored. She continuously tells that. Okay? So that's fun. You can look up and think. But let's start off with the Ig Nobel. So I'll be giving away all the awards. So what you should give is, I'll see, for example, what I'll do is, for this is the person who did this, and this is the inventor or whoever that is. So you have to come and accept the award by talking about the award as to what is so nice about that topic which you researched or whatever that. You got it, right? So let's start off. Okay. For studies determining whether painting black and white stripes on cows discourages flies. For studies determining whether painting black and white stripes on cows discourages flies. The award goes to Toastmaster Alan
Good evening, everyone. And they say behind every man there is a woman, but in my case, there was a man, and that man happens to be Vivek Vijayan. Because, this black and white stripes, that invention didn't come, just like that. Vivek and me went to many zebra crossings, okay, spoke to many zebras. Many of them were not very communicative. Many of them threw a lot of attitude. But with the help of data, which Vivek is very, very fond of and very good with, we were able to get through to the zebras until we realized the research was not about zebras, it was about cows. So then we had to reanalyze all the things. He had to remove that data, get in new data about cows. We thought the best idea is to start painting the cows itself, right? And they say you never know where you start, but the end can be a real flourish. So I accept this award, and it's very ironic that the person giving it is Vivek, because he manufactured this award because he knew we were not going to get any award anyway. So thank you, Vivek, and back to him.
I had told Alan not to disclose the second inventor, but yeah, that's a breach of trust. For showing that cows who have names give more milk than cows that are nameless. For showing that cows who have names gives more milk than cows that are nameless, the award goes to Toastmaster Shreyas for the book.
Okay, so it's my honor to accept this award, because he's selling his only cows, but I can extend it to goats and buffaloes and all those things. I mean, maybe he's only knowing about the cow part. I extended my research and find out that goats, if you call a person goat, they'll be very honored, they'll be very happy that you're calling them greatest of all time. But if you call goat by goat, they'll think it's an insult, like how dare you. It's like calling goat by, excuse me, human, come here. For them it's an insult maybe. So if you call a cow by, hey cow, come here or give me milk, they won't listen. But if you give them name and give them all the love that you have, they give extra milk, because that love that you're giving them is helping them churn that milk inside them, and by that it's giving more milk and it is much more tastier and sweet. So thank you very much for this award. If you like to taste this product, please contact Toastmasters.
Toastmaster Shreya was appointed as Nandini and Alright, the next one. For measuring the degree to which human saliva is good cleaning agent for dirty surfaces. For measuring the degree to which human saliva is good cleaning agent for dirty surfaces, the award goes to Toastmaster Nimisha Anand.
Thank you so much for such a path-breaking award. This was a very detailed research we did over a span of 12 months, funded by lots of angels, including Elon Musk. This is a problem that needs to be solved with the utmost importance. Over the 12 months, we tested different quantities of saliva that could be used to replace cleaning agents at home. And with deep precision, we have found something, we found the right concentration and it is patented. So if you want to get something that's very organic and nature safe to clean your house, please contact me. Thank you. That's all.
It's homegrown, okay, so you can contact Nimisha Anand for that. Alright, the next one. For measuring people's brain wave patterns when they chewed different flavors of chewing gums. For measuring people's brain wave patterns when they chewed different flavors of chewing gum. The award goes to Toastmaster Veeresh.
Thank you, Arunod, for giving me this Nobel Prize award for measuring the brain wavelength when you chew chewing gum. I was jobless. I was a loafer roaming on the roads. I had nothing in my hands. Everybody was scolding, and that's when this idea triggered. I just picked up a chewing gum, used one. Then I put it in the mouth, and I started chewing gum. Then some brilliant idea came to my mind that this saliva can be used for a cleaning agent, which the other person wants. And I gave that idea to that person. And when she won, I recognized my own idea, that I got this idea because of this used chewing gum. And I passed this idea to Table Toastmaster, and he, realizing my efforts and the value that it carries, has given me this award, and thank you for giving me this award.
So it's a joint award between Vivek, Veeresh and Nimisha. Anyway, moving on. For electronically modify, I'll read this out only once, okay? For electronically modifying the sound of a potato chip to make the person chewing the chip believe it to be crispier and fresher than what it really is. I'll repeat it. For electronically modifying the sound of a potato chip to make the person chewing the chip believe it to be crisper and fresher than it really is, the award goes to Toastmaster Naveen Revanasiddhappa.
Good evening, everyone. Understanding the question itself is very difficult, but since I have worked on this and put a lot of effort and receiving this award, I should thank Toastmaster Vijay for giving me this opportunity and award also. In filmmaking, when we are doing it, when we are doing any film scenes and all, we start with different instruments using to create such music. Horse riding, people moving, or any other thing. So it is not actual in the war, whatever you see, listen, it is not the actual thing which is happening, but it is all created. It is all created and electronically modified voice is what we actually heard. So this also, this idea also, the crispiness of a potato chips was also tried like that, but somehow I got an award for this. Thank you.
Now goes to other researchers at National Institute of Design from where Naveen is. Alright, the next one goes for probing medical discovery that nose picking is a common activity among adolescents. For probing medical discovery that nose picking is a common activity among adolescents, the award goes to Toastmaster Ganesh Pai.
I accept this ignoble award for such a global invention with all humility at my disposal. But let me share the genesis of this invention. As a teenager, I had the habit of poking my nose in everyone's affairs. So that's where I I realized nose is not just for breathing. There are many other things one can use it for. And I just didn't leave with this one brilliant thought. I grew up and this one thought was just not leaving me. And then I realized one day that I have to really take this thought to a logical invention. And one thing led to another. And then we finally published our groundbreaking, path-breaking, and one of the most innovative thoughts in terms of how nose probing is extremely prevalent in adolescence. So, just to summarize, extremely happy finally my efforts have been recognized and rightly awarded. Thank you.
This research is published in Nature, a publication piece, you should look at it. The next one, for explaining mathematically why success often goes not to the most talented people but instead to the luckiest. For explaining mathematically why success most often goes not to the most talented people but instead to the luckiest. The award goes to Toastmasters Suraj Rao.
I am very proud to be honored to receive this award. I thank all the research people who participated in providing me the research, and it was supervised by Vivek Vijayan. And I am very proud to announce that this research is available for free for everyone, and you can access the research. And it has been always found that the person who is the luckiest has the most chill mind and just goes for the things without overthinking. So they have a higher probability of achieving success than the people who have more tension before going to the examination hall or any other thing for that matter. I also thank Vivek for giving me this award.
So, whenever there is an election, you will always election to the assembly and all those, you always feel some people were really lucky to make it, isn't it? So anyway, for discovering that the obesity of a country's politicians may be a good indicator of that country's corruption. For discovering that the obesity of a country's politicians may be a good indicator of that country's corruption, the award goes to Toastmaster Richard D'Souza.
Thank you very much, friends, for giving me this award. And I'm always envious about that obese people who many a times they have been a rich one, but here in our country they are the most corrupt one. And without corruption, nothing happens. You can't do any work without tipping. You should know how to tip. And your connections saying that I know him, I know her, that will not work. We have to find out such some way, and I did marvelously well. I started somehow connecting with the home people or the PS of these ministers, and I through them flattered them, saying that how good they are, how people like them, and how they are good books of the chief minister to make them next minister. And I was really successful, and that's why not only they became ministers, but also I got this award. Over to the
Thank you so much. So, yeah, thanks so much, sir. Now the next award, the next one is a pretty simple one. For inventing a washing machine for cats and dogs. For inventing a washing machine for cats and dogs, the award goes to Toastmaster Tejas Tomar.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So, I would like to thank the table topic master for giving me this award because, like, I have seen the condition of the dogs and cats in my relatives' houses, and I think it would be a good invention to help them keep their houses a little clean and a little less smell. So thank you for giving me this award.
I don't know if it even exists. Maybe it exists. Anyway. For inventing a computer-based automatic dog-to-human language translation device. For inventing a computer-based automatic dog-to-human language translation device, the award goes to Toastmaster Nitesh.
We all love dogs a lot. In fact, my sister has one, a golden retriever. But the dog is very finicky. So sometimes he will be close to you, sometimes he will not even come close to you. No matter how much you call him, it won't come. So to understand that phenomenon, I wanted to understand what is going inside their head. Okay. So I started recording their the way they, whatever they are saying. Okay. So I, for almost 10 years, I recorded this data. Okay. And then I was not sure what to do with this data. Okay. And not only that, there's audio, but all video recordings were there. I was not sure what to do with it. Fortunately, Cloud released this Mythos model for a few days only. The moment it was released, I took the subscription. I put that GBs of data, and then after that, finally, it gave me a ChatGPT-like model which takes into account the audio of the dogs and gives you output in human form. It says that whether he's hungry, whether he does not like you, or whether he is in his mood, he wants to go somewhere else, or he wants to sleep. And for that, thanks to Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan for giving me this opportunity, especially helping with the data part.
I had collaborated with not a saint, what is that? What you call con man on Bidadi, who had told that he has developed this 2 years back. If you guys are familiar with that thing. Anyway. For the next one is for studying that chickens prefer beautiful humans. For studying that chickens prefer beautiful humans, the award goes to Pradeep Padmanabhan.
My favorite book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. No wonder chickens love beautiful people. That is beauty. They say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Is it only skin deep? No, somebody said. It's deeper into the soul. And there lies your connection between your chicken and your soul. When they meld together, that is where you have the beautiful chicken soup. Anybody here had a fever? Fever, cough, cold? At that moment, when you get a hot, piping soup, how does it feel when it goes down your throat? That moment, that feeling, that is where it connects. And you know, the chickens have a way of identifying those beautiful souls that they want to connect with. It was a long research of having a lot of soups and tuppas over a lot of mountainous ranges, over years of experience, that we were able to identify that particular chickens were able to identify which soul they wanted to connect with. And to do this research, like everybody, I also collaborated with Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan for the data. And thank you for the award once again.
I always felt it is true, those chickens kind of come up to you. If you see the small ones, it will come. Anyway. For determining whether it is safe to eat food that has been dropped on the floor. For determining whether it is safe to eat food that has been dropped on the floor, the award goes to Toastmaster Chiran.
as a society, we have like whenever a food falls on the floor, right? The people will throw it on a dustbin. And suppose like someone comes in and picks up and eat it. How do you feel about that person? Do you feel great about that person? You start criticizing him, you start giving him advice and all those things, right? I've seen this in my life and I thought over and over, why people criticize? This is what actually, like, I thought, okay, that guy is not wasting the food which has been fallen down. He is actually utilizing it to the 100%. What has it been meant? The society has, I've forcefully conducted this experiment on with brute love on few people who were unwilling to open their mouth. I had to go lengths to convince them how to open mouth and how to swallow the something which has been on the floor, okay, for the greater good of humanity. And the society, for this noble work, society has given me this ignoble award. Yeah, over to you.
I think if the results say that it was safe, I think a lot of food would not be wasted. The next award is for inventing clocky, an alarm clock that runs away and hides. So usually we have the snooze, right? It rings and runs away and hides. The award goes to Toastmaster Balakrishna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek. It's an honor to receive this award. So I was always wondering, so how to have a clock which will force people to get out of their bed. So there is always snooze button you press. But if it goes and hides behind the almirah, under the cot and so on, right? It will force the person to wake up and chase it and stop that alarm. So I did that invention. It has been patented, and many of the big brands are behind me now, chasing for that design to roll out this clock. And very soon we will be launching this. And for PTMC probably we will launch first, and we'll give a promo code. Don't worry, it will be discounted rate. And with that I will conclude. Thank you very much.
The promo code will be available during the installation ceremony the day after. Alright. The next one, for calculating the number of photographs that must be taken to ensure that nobody in a group photo will have their eyes closed. For calculating the number of photographs that must be taken to ensure that nobody in the group photo will have their eyes closed, let me invite a person who is less likely to attempt table topics for the next 6 months. Toastmaster Srinivas B.
Thank you so much for the prestigious award. This has been a dream for many people. Whenever in a group photograph, one or the other person closes their eyes. That happened to me in my own wedding, where my wife closed most of her eyes in the photograph. It was a disaster. The album looks, one person opened the eyes widely, another person completely closed. How did it look? That's the moment I decided to start an invention. How many clicks does it require to take a photograph to capture a group with all the eyes open? It took me 6 years of research, along with our topic master, Vivek Vijayan, to collect the data. And today, we are honored to get this award. And you all must be knowing, Samsung already took our patent, and Apple is behind us. And thank you so much for the prestigious award. Thank you so much.
He didn't tell me about the patent, and the bag took all the money by himself. That's bad, Srinivas. Anyway, the next one. For patenting a device that catches bank robbers by dropping a net over them. For patenting a device that catches bank robbers by dropping a net over them. Let's give it to a guest who's from another Toastmasters club, from Bangalore Toastmasters club, Toastmaster Sonali.
Hi all, a very good afternoon, good evening, and thank you for this Nobel Prize Toastmaster Vivek. For this, I would like to tell is that we should design a machine rather than having a net over those robbers. It will be helpful when they get entered to the gate. From the gate, we could see that robbers are coming, and maybe that creates an alarm which shows red. That's obvious, alarm is red color, we would know that. So in that case, it would be better to just know, yeah, robbers are coming. So we should be more conscious and should be in a secure place, so that the things which we have kept, that would be secure enough. So that's all, and thank you for this invention. Toastmaster Vivek has helped us a lot, for which we are receiving this prestigious award. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sonali, for coming over and all the way from Whitefield to receive this award. Thank you. The next one is for studying how bed sheets become wrinkled. For studying how bed sheets become wrinkled, the award goes to Toastmaster Ragaman.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I was so happy to get this award because I won't study in table. So I invented the best bed sheet which is soft and which gives the comfort to study. So everyone can use and get benefit from that. And you can, if you sit in that, it will be so soft and it will be so good to use. So everyone can get from it, and so I got Nobel Prize for that.
So, wrinkle-free bed sheets by Alagamai. Okay, here at the end, is there any member who has not come here who come on the stage? Have we covered all the members? Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. For demonstrating that high-priced fake medicine is more effective than low-priced fake medicine. For demonstrating that high-priced fake medicine is more effective than low-priced fake medicine, the award goes to DTM Shashank Bhatt.
I think whenever my mother has a headache, one thing that can, that can get rid of headache is one Saradon. You give her gems, you give her a stone as Saradon. She will eat that and say, I had Saradon, my headache is done. No more headache. This is the mentality which people have. They have this mindset saying, if I drink coffee, I will not get headache. If I eat curd rice, maybe I will sleep. People are so accustomed to this. All the medical companies, the medical brands, pharmacy took advantage of it, started creating brands left and right, started creating medicines left and right. That is when we, along with the data scientist here, Toastmaster Vivek, both of us collaborated and came up with good research, and we came to the conclusion that 75% of the medicines available in the market are fake. They just have brands. Composition is basically some random powder. They are playing with the minds of the people, saying, you eat this, this is cured. We believe, saying, wow, we eat this, go headache got, and we start eating that. That is when we realized most of the medicines are headache, just that some brands are spending more to get the branding on the fake medicines. We feel more happy saying, we paid 300 for this tablet, headache will go away faster. That is 100 rupees, headache will not. So that mindset is what we actually analyzed. So more than the rate, I think it's more than the fake medicine, basically it's the rate of the fake medicine that is actually play with our mind, because we think if you are paying 300, headache should go. 100 rupees may not be. So that is the invention that we did through our research, through in collaboration with Toastmaster Vivek, and we came to the conclusion that the more you pay for a fake medicine, our mind will tell us that our disease will go away. The next time you come across a 1 lakh cancer medicine, we will believe that because we're paying 1 lakh. It may be a random powder, maybe Pond's powder, clubbed as medicine, but we are paying 1 lakh, headache should go away. I think that is the outcome of that, and that is the invention that Toastmaster Vivek and I came up with, and it's out there in the market. So next time you see rate, don't go judge a book by its cover. Check the composition, consult a doctor, then take the medicine.
So that is how placebo came into effect. Okay, all right. Now then we are at the end of all the table topics. None of these topics were invented by me. These are really awarded, and I must say that some of these people went on to get a real Nobel Prize. So this is not like this. All this research was done by some useless fellows. No. This is really done. Some research happens to be that you end up laughing, but the people spent years doing this kind of research. But that's how research is. Having said this, yeah, I enjoyed presenting it. In the last 10 years of Toastmasters, this is only the 4th time I'm doing table topics. So no, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Back to you, Rajan.
Let the applause continue to the Toastmasters. For those laughs and for that fun. And I was sure that Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan has got a nexus with some of the participants, and also the participants had nexuses with each other, which they openly expressed. With this, we move to the next session. To take us through the session, the general evaluation session, we have a solopreneur who's an epitome of accountability and growth. Why not? She is the immediate past president of our club. Please put your hands together for the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Chaitra Chandapillai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ratan. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Okay, today everyone has been relaxed and everyone's been enjoying this meeting, right? I know that today the current committee is particularly relaxed. We've had a lot of them signing off. We heard them sign off in the beginning of the meeting. So it's finally the end of the term and they have all put in so much work. And like we've seen consistently meeting after meeting, they have made this meeting a great and to the point successful meeting. So we started at 6:21, right? Just a minute late, but I think everyone got stuck in traffic and a lot of people were still on the way were distracted. The sergeant at arms, Toastmaster Imtiaz Razi, yes, he made sure he captured everyone's attention by showing those chocolates and donuts. I particularly liked how you thanked everyone who helped you throughout the term. Of course, after that, you went ahead and gave us the rules of the meeting and introduced the president of the day. And I liked how you brought in some humor. You said that now that you're at the end of the term, you know the president almost as much as her husband does. And I think everyone here agrees. After that, he handed over the stage to our president, who took the stage with so much poise, right? I know a lot of us, when we come in, we see the rooms, the hall set up so beautifully, but we don't notice the finer details. And I like how she pointed out that one line in our what's it called? Standees, yes, standee, that's the word. And she brought in a personal story about how much that line meant to her. Again, she was very relaxed today, and that is a huge contrast to what we saw at the beginning of the term. She was a little nervous first meeting, and she has grown so much throughout the term. And of course, she handed over the stage, she introduced the tier body in a very interesting way. She told us all we needed to know about him and told us interesting facts like how he's traveled to more than 100 cities. Right? So that was great to see. Let's give it up for both the Sergeant at Arms and the President. Of course, we had the Secretary come in during the President's address and Toastmaster Abhinav. I remember how nervous you were before you joined Toastmasters, and I can see how much you've grown during the term, right? You were completely relaxed today. You gave the minutes of the meeting in a very efficient manner, and of course you signed off. Just one point to note for when you take the stage the next time. You don't need to point out to the audience that you're not prepared. Let the audience figure that out themselves. Okay? But otherwise, a job well done. Let's give it up for Toastmasters. I will get back to the Toastmaster of the day after we finish with the speech evaluations. But today's speech, the first speech was delivered by Toastmaster Puneet, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Anil. Toastmaster Anil, can we have your evaluation?
Toastmaster Puneet. Toastmaster Puneet, you are a gem. Yes, you were genuine, you were engaging in movement, and you were also modest. So I say you are genuine because not many people speak about their life's failure. You spoke about achievements, yes. You also spoke about you failed in your 8th standard. Personally, I may not like to call out my failures in life. Very few people do it, and you did it, so you are genuine. And when it comes to your engaging movement, so I can say your stage usage. You started with the corner of the stage when you spoke about your childhood. You graduated in between when you spoke about your college days, and you were somewhere closer to the podium at the end of the speech. So you effectively used the stage with minor movements in describing the various parts of your life. Not only that, you had a very good eye contact, so you were seeing across the hall to connect with each one in the audience. And then, modest. Yes, after so many achievements like getting an award from Hrithik Roshan, and after starting so many startups, still the title of your speech is My Small Life or My Small World. So that is very modest actually. So not only about your past, you also spoke about your future. So what is your dream and what do you want to do? So job well done. But Puneet, if you want me to ask what was missing and what would you like to improve in the speeches, you spoke what happened. But we would also like to know how it happened. The story. What made Puneet to stand up? What made Puneet to build companies? What made Puneet to be an explorer? When majority of us are happy with a predictable life and a job, what made Puneet to take up unpredictable goals in his life? The story of your options and the life that you chose. So we would like to hear more about it, where a story can connect better with the audience as well, rather than summarizing your life. Having said that, Puneet, I'll again say you are a gem. This time, you have a very good vocal variety, you have an excellent gesture, and you have a massive confidence on stage, which is very much needed for any speaker who is taking up the motivational strategies path. Looking forward to hear more from your speech, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anirudh. I completely concur. Toastmaster Puneet, that was a well-rounded speech. If I may add something, Toastmaster Puneet, we've seen you complete an entire pathway, and I felt that you did not need the cue cards. Perhaps that should have been left, back in your seat. But otherwise, a great speech. Let's give it up for both Toastmaster Puneet and Toastmaster Anand. Our next speech was delivered by Toastmaster Fazul, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Shivam.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Good evening, Fazlur.
Good evening.
The purpose of your project was to practice vocal variety and body language, so my evaluation will be restricted to those points. Fazlur, your speech title was "The Night I Slept Like a King," and today you spoke like a prince. The number one thing I noticed, which I believe is your natural strength, is the way you have a very flowy and easy voice. It makes the audience very easy to listen to you. The moment you came in and you said, "Imagine," we connected with your voice immediately. That's your natural strength, and I believe you will carry that through all your speeches. Number two was a very confident stance. As soon as you came on stage, you opted to stand like this. For beginning a speech like this, I think it talks to the audience that your body language is calm and you are in control of your body language and emotions. So I think that was the second thing that I noticed as a strength in this speech. And the third thing, this I noticed after a certain time in your speech, maybe after 3 minutes or so, from this stance, you started using your hands more freely. Like when you said knock, knock, or you said started banging on the door, or my father came to give me a whack. Or in the end, when you said, and I saw my father there standing on, near the door, I observed this generally happens when once we are away from the initial jitters of coming on stage, we become freer with our hand gestures. So that's a sign with you that you do have the potential to use more of those hand gestures in your body language. So why not practice it for the entire speech, right? Coming to two things that I would suggest or recommend to you that you can add in your future speeches. Number one definitely is pause. You are running, maybe practice pauses. Especially in a story like this, we as an audience would like to take in what that baby Fazlur felt. So you might want to practice pauses. And specific to this speech, number two would be vocal variety. You had so many dialogues in this story. So much of nostalgia and dialogue delivery with your mother, father, and then the uncle who took his lungi and went up, and you yourself, right? You can attempt to change your voice a little. If you find that difficult, because I personally also find changing voice a little difficult, you can take different stances for different characters. Automatically you will start developing a kind of variety in your voice, which will make the story interesting for all of us. So your natural strength being your flowy, easy voice, your confident stance, and the way you're using your hand gestures were your strengths for today's speech. And my recommendation for the further speeches would be to practice on your pauses and definitely incorporate a little more of that variety in the best way that suits you. Otherwise, I think that was a wonderful speech. Congratulations on completing it, and looking forward to all your further speeches. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivam. Toastmaster Fazlur, if I may add something. I feel that, yes, your speech was very scripted, good, and also I felt that the dialogues really brought up the strengths in the speech. I think it gave you a lot of room to practice vocal variety and body language. There is one improvement that I would like you to pay a little more attention to, and that is I noticed that you were clasping your hands after you showed a few gestures. Right? It's very difficult to break this habit. So I just wanted to bring it to your notice so that you slowly move away from using this gesture. But otherwise, a great speech. Let's give Toastmaster Fazlur and Toastmaster Shivam a round of applause. Our next speech was delivered by Toastmaster Surya Prakash, and he is being evaluated by Toastmaster Jacob. Toastmaster Jacob.
lucky chance I got to be an evaluator, speech evaluator, and stepping in for somebody else. Now, coming back to the speech evaluation, I really love your speech, Toastmasters Surya Prakash, for the simple reason you chose a topic which appeals to the audience. You chose a topic about speaking, about communication. You started your speech with a narrative about a singer who unfortunately sounded like a donkey. I found it a little humorous when you tried to imitate the donkey's braying. It sounded like the squawk of a bird, but it was wonderfully done. I believe that itself got connect with the audience. Secondly, which I really liked is how you joined the first episode of The Singer to a visit in Pondicherry, where you sat at a potter's wheel and shaped a piece of clay. And I believe that there is a lot of meaning in that for the audience. As speakers, we get shaped by the audience. We get shaped by the response the audience give us when we speak. Personally, I feel that you have touched on this very appropriate topic of a potter's wheel, where a clay is shaped by the pressure. And looking at it a little deeper, I believe you're speaking about the mentors who guide you in delivering better speeches. I would also like to say that the first thing that a Toastmaster learns for the benefit of the guests is that feedback or evaluation is the breakfast of champions. But I had a mentor who was slightly different. He said, shut up and listen. So it depends on your mentor, and I personally believe you've got a wonderful mentor who has coached you in delivering this beautiful speech. Then as a speaker, you says, practice makes it perfect. That was the essence. You speak again and again, you become more and more confident. But once again, it would mean that you climb up onto the stage and put your best foot forward, which you so rightly said. And it was wonderfully done. These three topics, starting from being a singer to a visit to Pondicherry, and then finally landing up on the stage as a speaker, and establishing that it's very good to choose a topic which connects with the audience. So wonderfully done. It was a wonderful selection of topic, and I'm looking forward to more speeches from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jacob. Toastmaster Surya Prakash, I especially like the humor that you brought into today's story. And we've seen how you've woven the humor into your speech. Well done on that. I'm going to challenge you with one suggestion. And that is to use more energy when you're here on stage. Right? At times I felt that your rate of speaking was a little slow. And I was wondering whether you were hesitating or whether you were just, it was just your energy. So next time, try and bring in more energy so that you really bring out the strengths of your speech much better. Well done, let's give Toastmasters back to the person who really wove today's session together, Toastmaster Siddharth. Toastmaster Ratan, you brought in a lot to your initial Toastmasters address, right? You talked about the theme, just go for it, and how it can be interpreted in different ways. And then you explained, you brought in the acronyms into the word selfie. And I think we saw the microbiology background come out through the way you wrote on the board, right? And I also noted how you asked the guests to take a guess on when Toastmasters was founded, right? a lot of interaction, a lot of things packed into your initial address. Well done on that. The flip side of having a lot packed into the initial address is that you tend to go overtime. And I would request you to also find out how you can optimize on time the next time you're taking the takeaway role. Even though you forgot the guidelines for the evaluator to really read out guidelines for speech, you corrected that. So that is good to see. The only other suggestion I have for you, Toastmaster, is that I felt that the intros, the introductions for the role takers could have been done a little better. Perhaps it required a little more preparation. But all in all, a job well done. Let's give Toastmaster Skancharapan Shetty a round of applause. Now, Toastmaster Ratan promised us that we would have a fun table topic session. And of course, the person who came next on stage was the most prolific researcher because he has been credited with a lot of research that went into Ig Nobel prizes, right? Toastmaster Vivek, you brought in your signature style, a lot of the nerdy topics and a lot of humor, so that was great to see. And I felt that the kind of topics you brought in also ensured that everyone thoroughly enjoyed today's session. Everyone kind of, when a new joinee joins the club, they keep saying, okay, so the only person who's safe during the table topic session is the table topic master. But I would say that is not true because the TTM has to react to every single topic. And I noted that you had a lot of witty comments in between the topics. So that was also great to see, and it brought in a lot of humor in your table topics as well. So for a table topic session that everyone enjoyed, let's give Toastmaster Vivek a round of applause. It is now time to call onto the stage the people who have been very, very keenly listening to everyone who's been here, right? Starting with the timer, Toastmaster Ravi Varma. Toastmaster Ravi Varma, can we have your timer's report?
So here is my report. In the purpose which has all the speakers stayed within the qualified time, and coming to the table topics, most of the papers exceeded the time limit. And in the evaluators, so all of them are maintained the time limit. So coming to the table topics, only 4 papers stayed within the qualified time. That's all. Thank you.
We now have our counter, Toastmaster Billy, who will be delivering the our counter.
Coming to the counter report, first start with someone who did not use any filler word. Toastmaster Fazlu, captivating speech with no crutch word or filler word. On an average, everyone today used around 4 to 5 crutch words. And someone who used more than 6 crutch words, Toastmaster Shuratan, Toastmaster Chatra, and Toastmaster Nimisha. Rest all, everyone was within the limit of 4 to 5 crutch words. So, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Billy. And yes, the grammarian will be up next. DTM Vijayanand.
To celebrate myself, I wonder how one does that. Perhaps to speak of it, to celebrate, I'm wondering how you find that. Maybe to celebrate my achievements, perhaps. I don't know how one celebrates oneself. Someone said, I know half of her, what husband knows. That's rather dangerous. I think speak of it, I know half of what husband knows about her. Another interesting fact about one is that would just say another interesting fact. Trusting in me. You can't trust in someone, trust out, trust beside. You just trust me. Trust in me. Served at many roles. Served in many roles. Put the emphasis on different words. You can't put anything there. Just emphasize on different words. In the YMCA. You just say in YMCA. If you use the or the, you're referring to a particular YMCA. Just say in YMCA in that context. Let's have an applause. I was wondering how do you do that? You can't have an applause. You can have a cake, you have an apple, you can't have an applause. You can't even give an applause. You give a round of applause for your applaud. Helpful with me. Can someone help me here? I think helpful to me, helpful for me. I was born after a tough pregnancy. I think, speak of it, I was born after my mother had a tough pregnancy. Reflect all the mistakes. I think only a mirror can reflect the mistakes. It's reflect on all the mistakes. Someone said, I started to sit down. No, you sit down or you don't sit down. Someone said, pot was coming out. No, pot is a non-living thing. It can't come out. So I think the pot was taking shape. That's what the speaker meant. Someone said, let's look at here. You look here or look there. You can't look at here, you can't look at there. I think the speaker meant, let's take a look in this room itself, in that context. And after that, the speaker said, I want to leave this room. Now, it gives the feeling that he's so disgusted with the audience, with the speech. What the speaker meant, I want to leave the stage. The goat of all grammatically uses call goat by goat. I think the speaker meant call a goat a goat. Thank all research people. There will be thanking all mechanical people, thanking all construction people, I think all researchers. Food which has fallen down. Food can't fall up. Food which has fallen. Period. Someone said, I did that invention. No, you can't do an invention. I invented that. Simplified. And after that invention, people are chasing me. No, that's dangerous. That means that invention was horrible, pathetic, and they're after your blood, paying for your blood, your life. So many people wanted to get in touch with me after invention. Someone said, in my own wedding. I mean, your wedding, it can't be a borrowed wedding, a leased rental wedding. Or someone said, it's your wedding, in my wedding. Own is done, their own. Someone said, get entered into the gate. I don't know how you enter the gate. I think the person meant enter the premises. You can never enter the gate, you enter the premises. Someone said, have you covered all members? To the best of my knowledge, all the members are well dressed attire. We don't cover them. Have all members got a chance to speak? Someone said, playing with our mind. No, even neuroscientists don't play with our mind. So it's playing on someone's mind. I am doing TD session. You cannot do a TD session. You conduct a TD session. And for people, it's people. Back to the
very thorough preliminary report. Did anyone use the word for you?
Happened 3 times.
Okay. Let's give both DJ Vijayanand and Toastmaster Ratan Shetty. I believe the voting link has been posted in the group. The password is 6677. Members, please make sure you vote. With this, we come to the end of today's evaluation session. And there is one thing I would like to say. This week was particularly chaotic for some members of the executive committee, especially Toastmaster Amrit and Toastmaster Srinivas. But in spite of that, today's meeting really went smoothly. and it was a meeting that everyone enjoyed. And for that, let's give the both of them and the entire committee a round of applause. With this, I will be handing over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Raman.
Fellow Toastmasters, what do we give our general evaluator? Before I am now caught for the time by saying something extra, I think I need to hand it over back quickly to the President. Prior to doing that, I'd like to just make one comment here that I'm truly thankful for this opportunity to be the Toastmaster of the day, and thank you all for being a wonderful audience. With this, I hand over the stage back to our President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ratan Shetty, for a brilliant session. Can we have a big round of applause for all the road takers who came on stage today?
When I joined this club 10 years ago, my mentor was Cherian Thomas. And he was in a phase in his career where he just did not have the time to even attend the club meetings. And he was always busy. He told me one thing, that the audience is waiting to hear you. That's the only interaction I've had with him. The rest of my 10 years has been the system of Toastmasters that has molded me. I have failed on this stage. I have cried in this room. I have shared some of the most vulnerable aspects of my personal life with each of you. I want to just ensure for the next 6 months, you won't have to burn your hands like I did. You won't have to figure out Toastmasters and ways around Toastmasters like I struggled with. You will have an easier way, you will have a simpler path, and you will have a guide by your side. Thank you, and I look forward to working with each of you.
With that, we end the special business meeting. I would like to thank Toastmaster Alan and Toastmaster Chatra for helping us with the election. And Toastmaster Chatra, Toastmaster Shashank, and Toastmaster Powers for helping us with clarifying the entire election process, because this was a special situation. With that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a special person here. We have the Area Director B3 with us, Toastmaster Sonali Sahu. Can we give her a big round of applause? Thank you. Now we will jump on to the awards. Right, our best auxiliary role taker goes to the Grammar Queen, distinguished Toastmaster Vijay Anand. Best role taker award, Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan. Best Evaluator Award goes to our champion Toastmaster Shivangi Bhatt. Best Table Topic Award. I mean, again, are the topics leaked somewhere? Distinguished Toastmaster Shashank Bhatt. Alright. And the Best Speaker Award goes to Toastmaster Fazlul. All right, thank you so much. For our guests, may I request Toastmaster Balakrishna, our Vice President, membership to please stand. Okay, guests, he will be taking you through a briefing after the session, and you can meet him outside. Now, we are almost on time, so I would just, if members allow me, I would take a few moments to acknowledge the work that has been done by the heroes of the term. May I request the current term ExCom members to please join me on stage. That a leader is as good as its team. So if you have felt that the term went really well, that's all because of our heroes here. Let's give them a big round of applause. Acknowledge that heroes also have heroes, which means they were also supported by a subcommittee. And I would like to call out the names of Toastmaster Ravi Verma, Toastmaster Rini, Toastmaster Cher, please join us on stage. Toastmaster Chandrasekhar, but can you make further leaders? That is where the entire subcommittee was, the support came in, and the current executive committee helped them to come all the way and start helping them with the club roles. So thank you once again to the entire committee and to the entire subcommittee. And as I say, the support from the members is the prime most, and I thank you each and every member for your support and your trust in us, or trusting us. Thank you everyone, and with that we adjourn meeting number 1533.